Welcome to Anselmo Academy of Music and the Arts, and we are live on Facebook and sending you greetings from New York City. Hello. We continue to feature our mini competition winners from 4th Anselmo Academy Youth International Competition, and today we are presenting Trinity Trio, first prize winners in chamber music category. Our artists and guests today are all three go to the same high school in Manhattan called Trinity School, where they've met and they formed a trio. Very nice. Happy to introduce Tiffany Tsui, violin, Samuel Fisher, piano, and John Critelli, cello. We had to pre-record our dialogue and conversation at an earlier time that we will be featuring in this episode shortly. We will also feature each artist with their performance videos and a picture gallery in just a moment. But first, a few words about Anselmo Academy of Music and the Arts. We are in our 22nd school year, and we are honored and proud to have been offering music and arts education to multiple communities throughout New York and New Jersey. Our signature programs are enrichment group classes, where we send teachers to local schools and after-school type programs, community centers, senior centers, and to organizations that serve students with learning disability to teach music and arts education. If you know of a school or a program that is looking for something that we offer, which is enrichment type program, we would be happy to connect with them. Okay, events coming up. Online masterclass in early September with Professor Kirill Gledkovsky and his student, Wendy Wang, who won second prize at the 4th Anselmo Academy International Competition via Zoom. Fall enrollment had begun in July with various offerings and music instruments and theater, and we are actively connecting with multiple school sites throughout New York and New Jersey to continue implementation of our group classes. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, TikTok, and other social media platform, and also subscribe to our two online newsletters that you can easily find at our website. One is the academic newsletter, and the second one is called On Stage. This way you'll stay connected with all our happenings and events. Okay, so our first video today is Clara Schumann Trio in G minor. This trio, the Trinity Trio, was chosen to perform at Lincoln Center for the Young Musicians Program with the Chamber Music Society of Lincoln Center. So Clara Schumann Trio, first excerpt. Take a look. Beautiful. All right. Our first guest feature today is Tiffany Tsui. Can we please have Tiffany's picture on the screen as I read her accolades, please? Wonderful. 15-year-old Tiffany Tsui is an interdisciplinary artist attending Trinity School in New York City. She plays the violin and piano, sang with Broadway Youth Ensemble, and is a ballerina who trained at the School of American Ballet for 7 years. Tiffany studies violin with Nurik Pact at Kaufman Music Center Young Artist Program. She has won many international awards, including first prizes with International Youth Music Competition, Vivo International Music Competition, London Young Musician, and Grand Prize Virtuoso in Bonn, Germany, just to name a few. There are many more. Okay, skipping through, also, this past year, Tiffany's string quartet, Tetrad, won first prize in the USA Classical Music International Competition. Both ensembles were also prize winners at the Great Composers Competition in 2022. Tiffany volunteers weekly with ballet and beyond at teaching dance to elementary school children. Also in 2022, Tiffany founded Arts for Hope, an organization that aims to bring arts education experiences to children who may not have opportunities to study music and dance. And we have a wonderful video that Tiffany provided, which is Après un Verve by Foray, and it's a musical thank you to COVID-19 healthcare workers, where she's performing with her brother Connor on cello and their mom Yvonne on piano. Take a look. Fantastic video. We thank very much Tiffany, Connor, and Miss Yvonne for sharing it. And you'll meet Tiffany shortly during our dialogue part. Our second artist is Samuel Fisher. Can we please have Sam's picture on the screen while I'll read his accolades? Wonderful. Samuel Fisher, age 16, is a composer and pianist who has been a member of the Juilliard Preparatory Division for 7 years, graduating from the Music Advancement Program in 2019 after 4 years of study and attending the pre-college program since then. He has won several awards and competitions for his music and has also positively impacted his community by teaching music theory to 4th grade students and performing for senior homes and health centers. Recently, he attended Interlochen Arts Camp for composition with a grant from the From Music Foundation. And Samuel's provided his composition for us to feature. It's a string quartet called Tyler's Day Out. Take a look. Fantastic. How wonderfully and talented his composition is. Thank you so much, Samuel, for sharing with us your great composition and the performance. And our third featured artist is John Critelli. Can we please have John's picture on the screen while I read his bio? Wonderful. John Critelli is a composer and cellist from New York City, New York. He has studied cello at the School for Strings with Alex Croxton since he was 4, and he has won awards as a soloist and as part of a piano trio. He started composing when he was 11, beginning formal composition lessons with Stephen Sacco in 2019. Since then, he has written works for cello, piano, orchestra, and more. John also plays regular outreach concerts to help build community and alleviate the isolation of homebound individuals. And he volunteers as a cello practice partner and music theory tutor for undeserved children. Fantastic, you guys. And the first video for John, we have Kabalevsky Cello Sonata. Take a look. Wonderful. Thank you so much, John, for sharing your performance. Okay, so we are going to proceed to the dialogue portion of the broadcast that was pre-recorded earlier this month due to so many conflicting schedules that the kids had this summer. So yeah, we can go ahead and start that video anytime. All right. Well, welcome everyone. We dedicate this broadcast to chamber music. And so we have invited Trinity Trio that consists of young, talented musicians. And I have a short bio about the trio. The Trinity Trio brings together accomplished musicians. Samuel Fisher, 16-year-old. Samuel, say hi.
Hello.
Welcome. Tiffany Tsu, 15-year-old violinist. Say hi, Tiffany.
Hello.
Welcome. And John Critelli, 16-year-old cellist. Say hi, John.
Hello.
Welcome, you guys. A little bit about each artist. Samuel, an award-winning composition student of Juilliard Preparatory Division since 2015, has been a pianist for over 10 years, and he currently studies piano with Adelaide Roberts. Through grade school and middle school, Tiffany studied violin at the Special Music School and has won many international music competitions as a soloist. Tiffany currently studies with Nuri Pact in the Kaufman Music Center Young Artist Program. John has been studying cello for the past 11 years under Alex Croxton at the School for Strings. John plays in several chamber ensembles and orchestras, in addition to performing as an award-winning soloist. Samuel, Tiffany, and John met in high school and formed the Trinity Trio in October 2021. Coached by pianist Yvonne Lau, the trio was chosen to perform at Lincoln Center for the Young Musician Program with the Chamber Music Society of Lincoln Center. They are first prize winners in the American Protege International Piano and String Competition 2022. Anselmo Academy International Youth Music Competition 2022. Thumbs up for that one. That's the one that matters the most. Okay. And international and prize winners in the Great Composers Competition, Music of Americas. They regularly perform in school and community outreach concerts to bring arts experiences to the local communities. Wonderful, you guys. I also prepared a brief introduction to many of our listeners about what is chamber music, since none of you wanted to talk about it in the dialogue part that's coming up. So this is just a brief introduction to chamber music. It has a vivid history. It goes back way back, hundreds and hundreds of years. But I wanted to just focus on the chamber music the way we recognize and know it today. And so that style of chamber music originated in late 1700s during the Viennese era. And the first compositions were written by Haydn, Mozart, and Beethoven. And of course, you all know those composers, hopefully. And the concept of chamber music is the intimate setting, unlike a large opera production or a big symphony orchestra. In addition to that brief introduction of its history, I wanted to also mention that there are three aspects of chamber music that stood out in my mind as I was reading a little bit about it myself. So number one is economy of resources. And I think it's an important one since they are only a small selection of instrument presented in each composition. It still is filled with passion. It's filled with a lot of different vivid emotional resources. And again, never mind the fact that it's a small group and not like a big symphony orchestra or opera production. Simplicity of its numbers. Again, it's a small group of instruments. And also to me, number three, that I thought was important is the acoustical balance that's very well represented in chamber music. All right, so without any further ado, we're moving on to the dialogue part. We've asked our guests to submit some questions and topics that they want to discuss, and we have 6 topics to present to you today. Okay, question number 1. Well, it's kind of casual question. What have you been up to this summer? Let's start with Tiffany.
Yeah. So I've been around many different places. So I guess starting from the last day of school, I traveled to Panama for 2 weeks to do a shoulder-to-shoulder program, working with kids at the community center. So that was where I was for 2 weeks. And then right after that, I went to Miami to do a 5-week ballet intensive with Miami City Ballet. And then I traveled back home. So I'm in New York right now. Yeah. So that's what I've been up to.
Wonderful. Sounds exciting. Okay, John.
So for most of the summer, I work at the beach. I pick up garbage.
Wonderful.
And then for a week or so, I decided I would try film scoring to see what I could learn. So I scored like an 11-minute film. And I spent 2 weeks in Boston at composition intensive just to kind of explore some new instruments and test my hand at composing some more. and I'm going to visit Washington, D.C. in a couple of days for a scholarship.
Wonderful, very interesting. Okay, Samuel.
So I spent the majority of the summer so far at Interlochen Arts Camp. I was there for the 6-week high school composition program. And while I was there, I wrote 2 short pieces as well as a second movement for a brass quintet that I was working on. And I feel that the experience went well, so I'm very glad I went. But since that was 6 weeks, that's pretty much all I've done so far. But tomorrow I'm gonna go to Florida, so that's fun.
Sounds like vacation is about to begin for you.
Yeah.
Yes. So in addition to Samuel, a question to you. So in addition to being part of the chamber music group, you actually write chamber music. You mentioned that you write
Yes.
a craft composition. Okay, wonderful. Next question. What makes chamber music different to playing solo music, in your opinion? Let's start with John.
Well, it's a lot more communication oriented, I feel like. Like you have to, and you're not always in the spotlight is a big thing too. You really have to know like when to come out and when you're playing more of a supportive role. And just coordinating like all the small details with your group mates is just become such a central part of chamber music that you don't really have to worry about as much when playing solo music.
Wonderful. Samuel.
Yeah, John pretty much said it. You have to engage with the music in a different way than you would if it was just a solo performance, and you have to like collaborate with your performers. It's more than just collaborating with it's more than just communicating to the audience. You also have to communicate with your fellow performers mid-performance. So yeah, that's what makes it different.
Wonderful. Tiffany.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a team effort to perform as one. And I feel like since you can't really control how everything like plays out as like you can in solo music, there's something about like building a performance every time you play. There's something about it that's much different than solo music.
Wonderful. Okay, let's move on. Do you think chamber music is a dying art form? Let's see, Samuel, since you also compose it, what do you think about it?
Honestly, I don't really think it's a dying art form, especially because of contemporary composition, because composers, they're constantly forming new chamber groups and finding different ways to combine instruments. Like, for example, while I was at Interlochen, we had a guest performance from a saxophone quartet, and I thought it was really great. It's probably one of my favorite ensembles now. And I just think now that we're in an age where composers are willing to explore a lot of different possibilities, I really think it's an opportunity for chamber music to flourish. So I don't think it's, at least in recent years, a dying art form.
Wonderful. Tiffany.
Yeah, I agree with Sam. I guess the only reason it would be dying is because there are different ways of making music now, but even then, I don't think making music via like digital programs or things like that, I don't think that could ever replace the experience of chamber music. I mean, like during COVID, I actually participated in the Phoenix Chamber Festival over Zoom. So we were trying to recreate that chamber music experience digitally through like a program. So we had to like record our track and then put it into the system and then play everybody's tracks together. And it's just not like communicating or like listening to each other in the moment, I don't think that could ever be replaced.
Great. John?
Yeah, I think just like what Samuel said, recently chamber music has been like flourishing because of like how explorative everyone has been recently. Like I heard a vibraphone bass clarinet duo play, and their music was just like completely unlike anything I had ever heard. And so when you think chamber music, you think like string quartet, piano trio, but then this duo played, and it was so like incredibly different. And I was like, wow, there are many more possibilities for pieces to be written outside the boundaries of what people think chamber music has to be in.
Beautifully said. Wonderful. Okay, moving on. What piece of chamber music has been your favorite to play? Is there a piece that you're really wanting to play? Samuel.
My favorite piece that we've played so far is probably the Porgy and Bess piano trio arrangement, because Gershwin in general, I like his music. I played his 3 preludes and I had quite a bit of fun with them. So Gershwin, I just like his music, so that's why he's my favorite. And in terms of music, or music that I would want to play with the chamber group, we were looking at I think a prelude by Aaron Copland that we would arrange for piano trio, which I would be pretty excited to play because I'm a fan of Aaron Copland as well. So yeah.
Wonderful. John.
Maybe I played Mendelssohn String Quartet #2 a while ago. I had a really good time doing that, just because I haven't played a lot of Mendelssohn, I must say, and so it was kind of it was like he's like very classical, and just everything about the piece just seemed. I find I've grown to like the classical style very, very much. Like the late classical, early romantic style of writing has really grown on me recently, and so listening to the piece more after I've played it, it's just become one of my favorites.
Wonderful. And what about a piece you wanted to play?
Maybe like the whole Schubert's string quintet. It's a big piece, very long, and there are big repeats too. And I played a bit of it earlier this year, and I was thinking it would be really great to play the whole thing because I don't know, I haven't listened to like the whole thing all the way through well enough to know it. So I thought it would be really nice to explore a little and try to figure out the rest of the piece with the group.
Beautiful. Tiffany.
For the first part of the question, I think my favorite piece that we've played together is probably the Clara Schumann piano trio that we performed for the Chamber Music Society competition, just because I'm really proud of the work that we put into that to get it to the very best that we could. So that's very satisfying. And for the second part of the question, probably Aaron Copland that we were looking at, or maybe a Shostakovich piece, because I recently did a paper on his 5th Symphony, and I really want to play some music by him.
Wonderful.
That's a great one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next question. Do you think that all students should play chamber music? From what age? Are there any benefits to playing chamber music? Let's start with Tiffany.
I think it's like if you can, I think it's really such a beneficial thing to grow yourself as a musician. Of course, not everybody can, not everybody has the resources or the people around them to like support that endeavor. But if it's possible, I think that you can really learn a lot from communicating in that environment.
Wonderful. And so what about the last question? Are there any benefits to playing chamber music?
Oh,
I think?
Definitely. Like I said, since it's such a team effort, you really need to learn to listen to each other, to yourself, and to learn what the composer is trying to get you to do, trying to get the story across to the audience and to your chamber members. And I feel like personally, I didn't really understand or start to learn those things until I started chamber music.
Exactly. John.
I think definitely if you can grab some friends and try to make a group, do whatever you can, and play a bit together. Because for me, playing with other people has been like the best experience in music that you can get. Just because, like Tiffany said, it's great for communication and being like very specific with details too. Sometimes when you're playing solo, you can skip a bowing here, ignore a dynamic there, and it's more up to your own interpretation. Whereas in chamber music, you really every like last detail, you have to coordinate with the other people. If you wanna, you have to talk with your group specifically about how you want to like phrase something, how would you do the dynamics here, and it's really very different experience that everyone should try to get if they can.
Wonderful. Samuel.
Yeah, I mean, what they said is pretty accurate. If you can do it, just do it. I mean, and that goes for a lot of things in music, but chamber music is pretty much, it's almost necessary because of how beneficial it is. Most of those benefits just have to do with the differences between it and solo performing, and it's just completely different. And I think experiencing both is highly beneficial.
Wonderful. And the last question, do you have any recommendations for students who might like to play chamber music? How did you get your group together? Tiffany.
To answer how we got our group together, it's actually, I think we're very lucky in that our group stayed together for so long, because I think in the beginning we didn't really know each other we hadn't really talked to each other, so we just decided to get together and read through a piece. So I would say to people who are trying to get into chamber music, just reach out to anybody you think might be up for it, because you never know. Obviously, it might not work out, but there's no harm in trying.
Right. John.
Well, for how we got together, I think originally we all go to school together. So I saw Tiffany's older brother play cello performance a couple years ago, and I thought it was really great. And then a little later, right when in like 2021, I actually went to a music festival and I saw Connor, is Tiffany's brother. I saw him there, and I wasn't sure if it was him, but I asked, and it turned out, he had just finished high school, and we just happened to be at the same music festival, and that's where I also met Tiffany's mom, and then through them I met Tiffany, and then that's how I got into how I met you guys. Yeah.
Great. Samuel.
Yeah, so how I got into the Trinity Trio is sort of a long story, not too long though. So I came to Trinity in 9th grade, and in 9th grade I was in Tiffany's English class, and I did a performance for her English class, which apparently didn't really hear it because Zoom cut most of it out, unfortunately. But she reached out to me a few months later, the next school year, asking if I wanted to join, because her mom had actually done some substitute piano lessons for me at Juilliard. So I actually knew their family and Connor because I did a year of composition with Connor actually. And so I accepted and I joined the trio.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Well, we are done with the questions, and really so great to meet you all. I applaud your accomplishments, your zest, and your enthusiasm for performance and for, building your network of musicians and playing together. Wishing you all success in all your endeavors, and hopefully you guys can perform again for us soon. At some point in the future. So thanks so much for breaking your summer vacation to meet with me, and so long. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Bye bye. It was so great to see this pre-recorded session again. These three young musicians are truly remarkable, and I had so much fun speaking with them. Okay, next we have gallery of the pictures that each guests have submitted to us, with comments underneath as to who they are with, where they were performing, if it is a performance. And we have a surprise. We have John Scritelli composition in the background, which is his string quartet as an audio. So take a look at the gallery. Beautiful. And last but not least, we have another excerpt from Trinity Trio performing Clara Schumann Trio at Lincoln Center. Take a look. Wonderful. Well, once again, thank you, Tiffany, Samuel, and John for joining us for this special broadcast to feature your talents and, of course, discuss chamber music and your success in creating your trio. We thank very much all of our listeners for watching today, and thank you so much for joining. Have a good day.